I'm going to go through equations with variables on both sides, and that means equations with letters on both sides of the equal sign. So you can see that there is a 4x there, and there is a 7x there as well. Now, there are two examples in this video because they are different, so it's worth watching both. So what you need to do is to simplify this equation so you end up with something very simple. For example, a 2x equals something, or a 3x equals something. So you want to get it that simply. And to do that, you need to move all the x terms to be on one side of the equal sign and all the number terms to be on the other side. You want everything that has an x on one side, everything that is just a number on the other. And it doesn't actually matter which side. You could have had the 2x equals 4 written that way. Now, my advice would always be to start by reversing the smaller x. So start by reversing the smaller x, or the smaller x term. So the smaller x term is 4x. 4x is smaller than 7x. And I'm going to reverse the 4x because it's a positive 4x by subtraction. So I'm going to take away 4x from here, and I'm going to take away 4x from there as well. The reason I take 4x from both sides, I want you to imagine the equation as a balance. 4x plus 3 on one side and 7x minus 9 on the other. I want to move the 4x to the other side. To do this mathematically, what I'm trying to do is to get it to 0. So if I take 4x away, so minus 4x, 4x minus 4x means there's a 0, but now there isn't a balance. So to get the balance, I also do it on the other side. And I always like to cross it out. So 4x minus 4x is 0. So there's no longer a 4x on this side. And then I actually do the calculation here. So I've got a 3, a positive 3, equals 7x minus 4x is 3x minus 9. So I've moved my x's to this side. I now need to move the number to the other side. Now, this number is a minus 9. It's a negative 9. So to get rid of it from this side, I'm going to add 9. That's how I make it to 0, and I add 9 to the other side, and I like to cross it out to make sure I know that it doesn't exist there anymore. So on this side, I've got the 3x, and I now need to do the actual calculation. 3 add 9 is 12. And now I've got it to this very simple form. You always divide by the coefficient of x, the number attached to the x term. So I'm always going to be dividing by the number attached to x, the coefficient of x. So divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1x, which is just an x. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So now I've got my answer, x equals 4. What does this mean? This means that when I substitute the value of x back into the equation, both sides will equal. They will be exactly the same amount. So 4x means 4 times 4, add 3, should equal exactly the same as 7 times x, which is 7 times 4, because 4 is x, take away 9. So that is 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. And 7 times 4 is 28, and take away 9 is 19. So I know that I've done it correctly. You don't need to do this but you can to check if you're not sure if your answer is correct or not. Now, for the second equation, 6x plus 8 equals 3 minus 7x. Again, you start by reversing the smaller x term. Now, have a look. You've got a 6x and a negative 7x. It's not a 7x, it's a minus 7x. And negative number are smaller. So this is my smaller x. And this is my starting point. I have to reverse it. So since it is a negative 7x, I am going to add to get rid of it. So plus 7x on this side and plus 7x on that side, and write it underneath the x term. You don't write it anywhere on the other side because I can only add or subtract like terms. So I'm going to put my line to say that's now a 0 minus 7 plus 7. And then I'm going to add 6x plus 7x is 13x. I've still got the plus 8, I've got the equal sign, and it equals 3. And then I want to move the number to the other side to be with the 3, to be away from the x term. So this is a positive 8, a plus 8. So I'm going to take away 8 from both sides. I put my line to say that this is now 0, 8 minus 8. And I've got now 13x equals 3 minus 8. Make sure you do it correctly. It's not an 8 take away 3, it's a 3 take away 8, which is minus 5. And then I always divide by the coefficient of x, which is 13. So both sides are going to divide by 13. 13 divided by 13 gives us our 1x, our x. Negative 5 divided by 13 is negative 5/13th. And it is much better to leave your answer as a fraction. Don't round. Okay, so don't round. And I highly recommend leaving your answer as a fraction. And that goes for whether the fraction is top heavy or not. And these are the two examples for solving equations with variables on both sides.